Good afternoon. So in the previous class we are discussing about power diode. So we have discussed in the power diode in the positive half cycle in the forward bias condition. Suppose this is the one diode, and in the forward bias condition when anode is more positive with respect to cathode, then when the voltage is gradually increases, after the cut-in voltage or threshold voltage the current is increases. And in the reverse bias condition when cathode is more positive with respect to anode, then a small leakage current is flowing, and when the negative voltage is keep on increasing at a voltage known as breakdown voltage, known as reverse breakdown voltage, junction breakdown of the diode occur and heavy current will flow. But if I see the characteristic of ideal diode, this is a characteristic of ideal diode. So this is what voltage across diode VA, and suppose this is current in diode IA. Then what is the characteristic of ideal diode is, so it cannot block positive voltage. As soon as I am giving the supply, it will start conduct. So the characteristic will be, so it cannot block positive voltage. Okay. Similarly, it can block negative voltage. So it cannot block positive voltage. As soon as you give the positive supply, it will start conduct, and it can block what? Negative voltage. This is the characteristic of what? Ideal diode. Okay. Next we'll discuss thyristor. What is thyristor. Okay. So basically thyristor have 4 layer. 1, 2, 3, 4 have 4 layer. That is alternate layer of P, N, P, N layer. Okay. So thyristor is a 4 layer device. P alternate P, N, P, N. Okay. And the terminal connected to the outer P region is known as anode. The terminal connected to the outer N region is known as cathode, and the terminal connected to the inner P region is known as gate. Clear? The terminal connected to outer P region is known as anode, the terminal connected to the outer N region is known as cathode, and the terminal connected to inner P region is known as gate. Okay. So basically I can say thyristor is a 4 layer 3 terminal device. Okay. So if it is P and N layer, definitely a junction will form in between P and N layer. So suppose this is junction J1. Similarly it is N and P, so definitely one junction will be formed here. Suppose it is J2, and again it is P and N, so definitely a junction will be formed across here, and suppose it is J3. Sorry, it is what? J3. So finally I can say thyristor is a 4 layer 3 terminal 3 junction device. Clear? Thyristor is a what? 4 layer 3 terminal 3 junction device. Clear? So let us discuss why it is thyristor, why the name is thyristor. So basically previously you are having thyratron tube. Okay, one thyratron tube will be there which will generally convert AC to DC. Okay, previously it is used, nowadays it is not being used. So previously we are having thyratron tube which can convert AC to DC. Okay, so if I see the transistor, the structure will be like PNP structure or maybe NPN structure. So transistor structure is maybe, you know that it is structure is like PNP structure or NPN structure. So basically the thyristor is also structure is like what? Transistor, that is PN or NPN structure. So the thyristor name is basically derived from thyratron tube and transistor, because if I take this word, look, it is thyristor. Okay, so if I combine the word thyratron and transistor, I am getting the word what? Thyristor. So basically thyristor is a solid state device like transistor, because it is having PNPN or NPN structure, solid state device like transistor, and it is having characteristic like that of thyratron tube. Okay, you understand what is thyristor? Thyristor is a solid state device like transistor, and it is characteristic similar to that of thyratron tube, so it is known as thyristor. Actually thyristor is a family. Okay, thyristor is a family. In that family, so different type of component will be there like SCR, GTO. Okay, different type of device will be there, but the oldest member of this family is known as SCR. Okay, the oldest member of this thyristor family is known as SCr. The use of SCr is so vast that it is synonymous with the thyristor now. Okay, so the use of SCr is so vast that it is now synonymous with the thyristor. So as the SCr is most widely used device now, so it appears that the term thyristor is now becoming more common than actual term SCr. Okay, so if I see the construction of thyristor, so this is what anode, this is what cathode, and this is what gate. It is what P N P N. Okay, generally this N layer is very thin and heavily doped, so it is plus. Okay, this N layer is very thin as compared to other layer and it is heavily doped, and the other P region is generally more thicker than N region. Okay, comparatively more thicker than this N region, so this width will be what more as compared to N region, and this N region is very lightly doped and the width is more as compared to other layer. The width of this layer is more as compared to other layer, and here the doping concentration is very less. Okay, if I see the doping concentration here, around generally 10 to the power 19 per cubic centimeter. Okay, so it is centimeter cube minus, okay, per centimeter cube. Okay, and here it is lightly doped, it is around 10 to the power 13. Here it is somewhat less, that is 10 to the power 17, and here it is heavily doped, again it is 10 to the power 19. Okay, so this layer is heavily doped and it is very thin, and this layer is comparatively lightly doped as compared to this, around 10 to the power 17 per cubic centimeter, and here it is lightly doped and very thick. So if I already discussed that is continuity equation, if the doping concentration is low, then definitely the width of the depletion region is more. If the width of the depletion region is more, it can block more voltage. This is the concept I have explained in the power diode. So according to continuity equation, if the doping concentration is low, then definitely the junction width, depletion region width will be what more. If the depletion length will be more, definitely it can block more voltage or it require more voltage for breakdown. Clear? Let us next try to understand why it is known as silicon control rectifier. First thing is, for construction, silicon material is used for its construction, so it is known as silicon. Okay, the next is what is rectifier, because it function as a rectifier. Okay, it function as rectifier. First, material is made up of silicon and its function as rectifier. We will see how it will act as a rectifier in the coming classes. Okay, then why it is known as control? So let us try to understand why it is known as control. Okay, suppose this is my AC signal, and suppose here I am using one diode, it is connected to diode, and here suppose I am using resistance here. Suppose here it is resistance, and here I am taking the output voltage here. Okay, so in the positive half cycle, it is a supply voltage here, one positive half cycle, one negative half cycle. So in the positive half cycle, as anode is positive, so a current will flow, so I am getting the output voltage equal to supply voltage, because one diode is conducting means what is the output voltage? Equal to supply voltage. So this is the supply voltage I am getting. So, okay, so the instant of conduction cannot be controlled in diode. H at the point 0, suppose the time axis, at t equal to 0, the voltage is positive, so diode is conducting. Okay, but in case of thyristor, the instant of conduction can be controlled. Suppose in place of diode I am using thyristor, suppose I want the voltage to start at this point only, then the instant of conduction can be controlled. This will discuss in the control rectifier in the coming classes. But why it is control means what? The instant of conduction can be controlled. In the diode, as soon as the voltage is positive here, so it will start at 0 point. But in the thyristor, I can start at 0 point, I can start at this point also, I can start at this point also, I can start at this point also. Okay, so the instant of conduction can be controlled in case of thyristor, so it is known as control. So the name is silicon control rectifier. Silicon, the material is used silicon, so and rectifier, the function is act like a rectifier. And control means what? The instant of conduction can be controlled. So it is known as what? Silicon control rectifier. So if I see the thyristor, if I see the characteristic of thyristor, it is divided into three parts, that is reverse blocking mode, forward blocking mode, and forward conduction mode. Okay, so let us discuss first about reverse blocking mode. First we will discuss what? Reverse blocking mode. Okay, so you know that this is what? Anode, and this is what? Cathode, and this is gate terminal, this is P layer, this is N layer, this is P and this is N. So what is reverse blocking mode? Reverse means if anode is connected to negative and cathode is connected to what? Positive, then it is known as reverse blocking mode. Why blocking mode? Look, Pn, if I consider as diode, then you know that P and this is N, anode cathode, but if I in terms of considering, if I consider in terms of junction, then first is P and N. Suppose if I am telling NP, then how the symbol will be? The symbol will be like this. Okay, this is P and this is N. So in this way, if I suppose this is junction J1, this is junction J2 and this is junction J3. So junction J1 can be represented by one diode, junction J2 can be represented by one diode, and junction J3 can be represented by one diode. So here anode is negative, cathode is positive. Okay, and here I am connecting three diode. First is P, so this diode will be like this. Okay, this diode will be like this. Similarly NP, so this diode will be opposite. This diode will be opposite, and here again PN, so it is again like this. Okay, so see, it is negative means this diode will be what? Reverse bias. So I can say this junction J1 will be reverse bias. Again this cathode terminal is connected to what? Positive, so I can say junction J3 is also what? Reverse bias. And here cathode is connected to what? Cathode is connected to negative, so I can say junction J2 is forward bias. Okay, so in the reverse blocking condition, junction J1 and J3 is reverse bias and junction J2 is forward bias. Okay, if this junction and this junction is reverse bias, then what is the current? Current is what? Because it is open circuited, it is open circuited, and this is also open circuited because of reverse bias condition, and it is only forward bias. So what is the current? Current is 0, but some amount of leakage current is flowing. This is shown by this diagram O and P. This represented by this diagram what? This O to P. Okay, so this reason is nothing but what? Reverse blocking mode, because it is blocking the flow of current due to the reverse bias condition of junction J1 and J3. Okay, but some amount of leakage current is flowing of the order of milliampere or to microampere. Okay, in the reverse blocking mode. But if I keep on increasing the negative voltage, at a voltage known as what? Reverse breakdown voltage, junction J2 breakdown occur and heavy amount of current will flow. This heavy amount of current and this voltage may leads to what? Heavy power loss of the junction J2 and may damage the thyristor, my device. Okay, this is all about what? Reverse blocking mode. So if I see the closely here, this layer is lightly doped and this layer is heavily doped as compared to this. So definitely here the junction width will be what? Less, but here the junction width will be more because of what? Because it is lightly doped, so definitely junction width will be more. So if I am giving the negative voltage, the total voltage will be blocked by what? J1 and J3 definitely. If it is reverse bias and it is also reverse bias, so what is the voltage I am giving here? It is blocked by the junction J1 and J3. But my question is, the voltage blocking capacity of J1 and J3 is not same, because here the width is what? Lesser, and here the width will be more. So definitely if here I am giving what? 100 volt, then definitely it is not divided as 50 volt and 50 volt, because here the junction width is what? Less, here junction width is more. So definitely the voltage blocking capacity is more for the junction J1. So suppose it is blocking 70 volt, suppose it is blocking 70 volt means it is blocking 30 volt, because it is having less width, it is having more width. Okay, so it is all about what? Reverse blocking mode. Next we'll discuss what? Forward blocking mode. Okay, so again it is what? Anode, this is cathode, this is P, N, P and N. Okay, if anode is connected to positive terminal and cathode is connected to negative terminal, then it is known without applying any gate signal. I am not giving any gate signal here. Okay, so in the forward blocking mode, if anode is connected to positive terminal, cathode is connected to negative terminal without applying any gate signal, then it is known as forward blocking mode. Okay, so again if I plot in the same format as like of diode, then it is positive supply. Okay, the first junction it is J1, it is J2 and it is what? J3. Okay, so tell me, it is P and N, so the diode structure will be like this. Similarly, it is NP, junction J2 is NP, so I will plot it opposite. Again it is PN, means again the diode structure will be like this. Clear? So see, it is connected to positive, so this diode will be forward bias. Again here cathode is connected to negative, so it is again forward bias, because negative is connected to cathode, so it is forward bias, but here positive is connected to here, it is, so it is, I can say it is reverse bias. So in the forward blocking mode, junction J1 is forward bias, junction J1 is forward bias, junction J3 is also forward bias, but junction J2 is what? Junction J2 is reverse bias. Okay, so I can see this is forward bias, so it can conduct, it is forward bias, so it can conduct, but it is open circuited. So what is the current in the forward blocking mode? Current is 0, current is very low, means it can block the current cannot flow in this junction because of this reverse bias condition, but some amount of leakage current is flowing in the forward direction, that is known as forward leakage current. This is known as what? Forward leakage current, because some amount of leakage current is flowing in the device, and this forward blocking mode is in the from O to M. Okay, from O to M. But at this point, if I keep on increasing the voltage, at some voltage known as break over voltage, that is VBO, that is forward break over voltage, at this voltage the junction J2 will be break and current will start increasing, Okay, so it is all about what? Forward blocking mode. In the forward blocking mode, junction J1 is forward bias, junction J3 is forward bias, but junction J2 is what? Reverse bias. Due to as the junction J2 is reverse bias, so current cannot flow, but practically some amount of leakage current is flowing, and that leakage current is known as forward leakage current. But if I keep on increasing the voltage at a voltage known as forward breakover voltage, junction J2 breakdown occur and a current start, and suddenly the voltage is decreasing. Look, when the thyristor is conducting, now suddenly here the voltage is decreasing and the current start increasing. Okay, this is all about forward blocking mode. So forward blocking mode is range from 0 to M. Okay, next we'll discuss forward conduction mode. Next we'll discuss forward conduction mode. It is anode, this is cathode, this is P N. Okay, so I have seen in the forward blocking mode some amount of leakage current was flowing. This is the current, some amount of leakage current was flowing. Okay, if I keep on increasing the positive voltage here I am giving anode is positive and cathode I am giving negative voltage. If I am keep on increasing the voltage here at some voltage known as forward breakover voltage, junction J2 breakdown occur, and suddenly the voltage decreases and current start increasing, and this voltage is known as breakover voltage. Okay, why I am representing as dotted line here? Because it is very unstable region. It is stable region at this point, is stable region, but this dotted line is unstable region because it is negative resistance region. Why it is known as negative resistance region? Look here the voltage is decreases. When the voltage is above VBO, then the voltage is decreases here, it is voltage axis, so voltage is decreases and current start increasing, so it is known as negative resistance region, and it is very unstable region, so it is represented as what? Dotted line. Suppose I am taking one thyristor of 400 volt range. Suppose I am taking a thyristor of 400 volt range. So generally here the VBO rating is around 2 times. Suppose I am having 400 supply and I am using one thyristor of 400 volt, then I require another voltage of 800 volt to turn on the device if I am increasing the voltage up to VBO. So it is not recommend to increase the voltage up to VBO to turn on the thyristor. So generally a gate supply is here, it is gate terminal, so gate supply is given in between what? Gate and cathode. So positive is connected to gate and negative is connected to cathode. Okay, so positive is connected to gate and negative is connected to cathode. Okay, why? Because the VBO requirement is generally high. So if I am taking the 400 volt one thyristor, the VBO requirement will be 800 volt. Okay, so at this volt, so if I am having a supply of 400 volt, assume, then I require another voltage of 800 volt to just turn on the thyristor. Okay, and also at this point the junction J2 breakdown occur, and this leads to a higher losses in the device which may damage the device. So generally it is not recommended to increase the voltage up to generally VBO. It is not recommended. Okay, so generally a gate supply is given in between what? Gate and cathode. So as I know that this N layer is heavily doped. Okay, so as this N layer is heavily doped and it is connected to positive supply, this P region is flooded with electron. Because of this N region is heavily doped and it is connected to positive supply here, so this P region is the P region is flooded with electron, or there it may be chances that some of the electron may try to cross the junction J2. So the when I am not giving any gate signal, suppose I am giving 100 volt to turn on the thyristor, okay, but as I am giving the gate signal, so the voltage requirement to what, now turn on the thyristor will be reduces. Suppose it is around 80 volt. Now if I again increase the gate voltage, what, again the voltage requirement to what, turn on the thyristor will be reduces, suppose 60 volt. समझ रहे हो, मान लो कि मैं पहले कुछ गेट सिग्नल नहीं दे रहा था, तो मुझे कितना वोल्ट चाहिए था ऑन करने के लिए, व्हाट, 100 वोल्ट चाहिए था, but when I am giving the gate signal, now the voltage requirement will be reduces, because as I am giving the gate signal, some amount, this P region is what, flooded with electron, and some of the electron may crosses the junction J2, so the voltage requirement will keep on decreases. Okay. Suppose at this point I am not giving any gate signal, so what is the voltage requirement here, VBO voltage, okay, but suppose I am giving the gate signal here, and suppose this gate signal is suppose IG3, okay, suppose this gate signal is suppose IG3, and what is the voltage requirement here, so see this voltage requirement is reduces, previously it was VBO, but now voltage requirement is at this point, so the thyristor will be turned on from this to direct, it will go to conduction state, because I do not require the voltage up to VBO because of the gate signal, the thyristor will be turned on at this point only, okay. Again if you are giving the gate signal, suppose IG2, if you are increasing the gate signal again, previously IG3, again if you are increasing the voltage, means definitely the IG current will be increases, and if you are increase the IG current, again the voltage requirement will be what, voltage requirement will be reduces. If you again increasing the what, gate signal, if you again increase the gate signal, the voltage requirement will be what, reduces, and suppose this current is known as IG1. So tell me which current is more here, this is IG3, this is IG2, this is IG1, so which gate current is more, so definitely this current is more, this current is more. Why? Because as this current is more, so the voltage requirement to turn on the thyristor is less. Previously when I am not giving any gate signal, what is the voltage requirement here, VBO, break over voltage. When I am giving the gate signal, some increasing the supply voltage, means some gate current is flowing, so definitely the voltage requirement is reduces. If I again increase the gate signal IG2, so voltage requirement is reduces here, previously this again reduces to this, and again reduces to this point, okay. Again if I am increasing the gate signal, that is IG1 here, so it is maximum, so the voltage requirement is again reduces here at this point, okay. So in the forward conduction mode, this region I can say it is from N to K, from N to K, it is what, the in the come in the range of forward conduction mode, okay. And why it is represented dotted line, because it is unstable region, because of the negative resistance region, because here voltage is decreases and current start increasing, so it is known as negative resistance region. This is all about forward conduction mode, okay. Why I am giving the gate signal, because if I am not giving any gate signal to turn on the thyristor, I require the voltage to what, voltage up to VBO, which is very last, which may damage the device because of the last temperature rise in the junction J2, okay. So generally the breakdown voltage is more as compared to what, breakover voltage, okay. So when I am giving the voltage up to VBR, then also junction breakdown occur, heavy current will flow, may damage the device. When I am giving the VBO also, J2 will break, and may temperature rise in the junction J2 may damage the device. So though the VBR is more than VBO, still VBO is taken as final voltage rating of the device. So VBO is taken as final voltage rating of the device. Clear? Suppose I am plotting the graph between your, that is this voltage, means anode to cathode voltage, okay, and suppose this is IC current, okay. When the current is zero, means supply IC current means gate current is zero, what is the voltage required to turn on the thyristor? It is known as VBO. You know that the voltage requirement is VBO, because gate current is zero, so I require VBO voltage to turn on the thyristor, okay. When I am keep on increasing the gate current, the voltage requirement will be reduces. Again if I am increasing the gate current, the voltage requirement will be reduces here. At this point, what is the voltage requirement? Reduces. But when I am not giving a gate signal, what is the voltage requirement? VBO. If I am again increasing the gate current here, the voltage requirement is again reduces. So my question is, if I am increasing the gate current, still you require some minimum value of anode to cathode voltage always should be there in the device. Mean, suppose this is thyristor here, okay, and if you are giving the gate current, suppose you are giving the gate current, very large amount of gate current, but you require at least some minimum value of voltage applied in between anode to cathode, and this is the minimum amount of voltage here, and this minimum amount of voltage is nothing but finger voltage, is known as what, finger voltage. Then what is finger voltage? A minimum amount of voltage required in between cathode to anode to turn on the thyristor. What may be the, you are giving the gate current. Okay, so as I am increasing the gate current, still as I am increasing the gate current to higher value, still I require some minimum amount of anode to cathode voltage, and this minimum amount of voltage is known as finger voltage. Clear? Next we will discuss the most important concept, that is latching current and holding current. Okay, suppose this is my thyristor, it is anode, this is cathode, and this is gate. Okay, I am having P and structure. Okay, so when anode is positive with respect to cathode and cathode is connected to negative, then it is what? Forward blocking condition. But I can turn on the thyristor now by increasing the voltage up to VBO, but as to reduce the voltage, because if I am taking a general thyristor of 400 volt, I require VBO of 800 volt supply. Okay, so to reduce the VBO requirement, I am giving what? Gate signal. So I am giving positive supply to the gate and negative supply to the cathode to decrease the voltage requirement. Because if I am giving the gate signal, then the VBO requirement will be the voltage required to break the junction J2, because here it is what? J1, J2, and here it is J3. Okay, so if I am giving the gate signal, the voltage requirement to break the junction J2 will be decreases. Okay, look, I am giving the positive supply to anode and cathode, and I am giving also the gate signal, and suppose the thyristor is conducting now. Okay, thyristor is suppose conducting now. If thyristor is conducting, the junction J2 is no longer reverse bias condition now. Okay, previously when thyristor was not conducting, then J1 is what? Forward bias, and J3 was what? Forward bias, but J2 was reverse bias. That's why the current was not flowing. The current was only what? Leakage current. That is known as forward leakage current. But as I am giving the gate signal and the voltage requirement to turn on the thyristor is reduces, so suppose the thyristor is now conducting. If once the thyristor is conducting, the junction J2 is no longer reverse bias. Okay, the junction is no longer reverse bias. So what I am telling is, if the junction J2 is no longer reverse bias and current is flowing, then what is the need of giving gate signal here? Okay, so I can remove the gate signal and to save the power losses in the gate drive circuit. Okay, once thyristor is conducting, J2 is no longer reverse bias, and if the thyristor is conducting, there is no need to give gate signal, because I can remove the gate signal to save the power losses in this gate drive circuit. Okay, but condition is, I can remove the gate signal only when the thyristor current reaches up to a level called latching current. Okay, if the current is reaches to latching current, and if I am removing the gate signal, the thyristor continue to conduct. Okay, if the current is not reaches up to latching current, suppose it is below latching current and I am removing the gate signal, then it will up again. Okay, so what is the concept of latching current? It is the minimum value of anode current. It must attain during turn on process to maintain the conduction when gate signal is removed. Okay, so when thyristor is conducting, suppose you are removing the gate signal, then it will start conducting if the current is reaches up to what? Latching current. So I can say the latching current is associated with the what? Turn on process. So it is associated with the turn on process. Clear? Okay, so if the current is up to the latching current and if we are removing the gate signal, then only the thyristor is continued to conduct. If it is below latching current and you are removing the gate signal, then thyristor is not what? The thyristor is again come to blocking state. The thyristor cannot able to turn on. Okay, so generally, as I have seen here, no need to give the gate signal continuously, because after the thyristor is turned on and the anode current is above the latching current, I can remove the gate signal. So generally a continuous gate signal is not given. Generally a continuous gate signal is not given, but it is given in terms of pulse. Okay, and the width of the pulse should be such that it is the anode current is more than latching current. Okay, if the latching current is more, suppose another thyristor is there where the latching current is more, then the width of the gate current is increases. Clear? The width of the gate current such that the anode current is always above the what? Latching current. The next we'll see what is holding current. Look, one thyristor is conducting. We are discussing about the holding current. Okay, if the thyristor is conducting now, no need to give the gate signal. You are removing the gate signal now. Thyristor is conducting. Suppose you want to turn off the thyristor now, so you need to decrease the anode current. So you need to decrease the anode current to a level called as holding current. this current is known as holding current. If you are decreasing the current below the holding current, then only thyristor is able to turn off now, and this current is known as holding current. So what is the definition of holding current? Minimum value of anode current. So minimum value of anode current below which it must fall for turning up of the thyristor. So holding current is, I can say, it is associated with what? Turn off process. Holding current is associated with the turn off process. So look, you have doubt that, sir, previously while calculating the latching current, I have told you if the anode current is below the latching current, thyristor will off. Then why again another current, that is holding current? देखो आप लोगों को अभी डाउट आ सकता है, मैं पहले बोला था लैचिंग करंट क्या है, और अगर एनोड करंट लैचिंग करंट तो नहीं आता है और उससे पहले अगर मैं गेट करंट को रिमूव कर देता हूं तो थायरिस्टर ऑफ हो जाएगा। तो आपको डाउट आ सकता है कि सर लैचिंग करंट से नीचे आने से तो ऐसे ही ऑफ हो रहा था, फिर होल्डिंग करंट तो लाने का क्या जरूरत है। देखो चीज क्या है कि मैं जब ऑन कर रहा था गेट सिग्नल को रिमूव कर रहा था, तभी यहाँ पे जो स्टोर चार्ज था तो वो धीरे धीरे इंक्रीज हो रहा था, ठीक है। चारों द स्टोर चार्ज इज नॉट यूनिफॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड थ्रू आउट द सरफेस, ओके। लेकिन एक बार ये जब ऑन हो गया तो द स्टोर चार्ज इज व्हाट डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड यूनिफॉर्मली थ्रू आउट द सरफेस हियर। सो जो ऑन केस था और जो ऑफ केस था दोनों का कंडीशन सेम नहीं है, समझ रहे हो आप। जब ऑन था, जब मैं लैचिंग करंट के बारे में बात कर रहा था, व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द लैचिंग करंट, द स्टोर चार्ज, द चार्ज कैरियर डेंसिटी इन ऑल द लेयर इज नॉट सेम, इट इज इंक्रीजिंग ग्रेजुअली व्हाइल टर्न ऑन, सो द करंट इज अप टू व्हाट लैचिंग करंट। बट व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द होल्डिंग करंट, so it is on now previously, then I am making it off, okay। So when I am making it off, then what at that time the store charge or the store charge in all the layer is what, I can say what, it is more as compared to previously turn on cases. So the both latching current and holding current are two different thing, okay। Latching current is associated with the turn on process only, so while it is previously off, I am removing the gate signal so that it should attain the value called latching current to reliable turn on of the thyristor. But and when it is completely turned on and I want to make it off, then I am gradually decreasing the anode current to a value known as holding current. So basically the ratio between latching current and holding current is, latching to holding current is the ratio of 2 to 3 times, because holding current is always less as compared to latching current. This current is known as what, latching current, and this current is known as what, this current is known as what, holding current, and holding current is less than latching current, and the ratio between latching current and holding current is generally the order of 2 to 3, okay। So in the today classes we have seen what is thyristor, what is the characteristic of thyristor, okay। Then we have discussed different mode, that is reverse blocking mode. We have discussed what, the reverse blocking mode. We have discussed forward blocking mode and forward conduction mode, okay। Then we have discussed what is latching current and what is holding current, and so in the next class we will discuss further. Thank you.